Welcome, everyone. This is a short video that I'm doing together with Dave Pendle because we have an upcoming 6 weeks course that will start in the beginning of June. Details will follow later about evolving masculinity. And so, what is evolving masculinity? To me, it refers to a shift away from, the rigid traditional ideas of what it means to be a man. Yeah, we are now in a huge flux of, consciousness level, huge flux of ideas and cultural shift that are happening across the globe. And so this is more towards how do we move towards a more conscious, inclusive, emotionally attuned, and integrated expression of the masculinity. And I think it also recognizes that masculinity is not a fixed identity or a performance, but it's a living, evolving experience shaped by our inner growth, cultural change, and relational awareness. So, Dave, let me ask you, why are you doing this work, and why are we doing this work on these type of topics?
Well, I completely resonate with everything you said there, Rudy, about masculinity not as a fixed quality or characteristic, but something that has been developed and needs developing. And I think we're in a critical moment, and we have been for a number of years, where patriarchy has been dismantled, that the fossilized versions of masculinity that were no longer appropriate for even modern times have become less appropriate now that we're kind of moving beyond modernity into post-modernity or meta-modernity. And so therefore we need a greater sophistication, but also, like you're saying, deeper contact. I'd say deeper contact with essence, deeper contact with source, and to express our masculinity from that deep connection to the universe, to the planet, and our reason for being here. And then out of that, all of the individual characteristics come into four-dimensional life, as it were.
That is beautifully explained, Dave. I like that. A connection to source is actually, I think, essential also,
Yeah.
because I have been living most of my life also basically not really aware of what I was doing. I was always living from the perspective, yeah, I doing something that I love, that I like, but then still not aware of that the unconscious patterns that were running actually in my head and that were having a huge impact on my decisions and
Yeah.
my quality of life, I would say. So by becoming aware and putting the attention on like, what are our core belief systems, and what are the older belief systems that are not valid any longer because life moves on, life changes, the life force, the life energy is changing constantly. um, this is becoming really important also to be aware of that and link that to values to actually live a life of more quality, also of more balance, I would say. Yeah, so what we are seeing now in the world is basically a huge shadow of, wounded masculinity that we have not been taking care of, or that what the masculine has not been taken care of, has been running for decades and centuries, and has been running subconsciously, basically across everything, but has now been accelerated with technology. So, and I also believe that technology will actually be the 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 catalyst also towards becoming more human or create a better humanity. Like as we're seeing now, the shadow accelerated, I think the way of how we connect to source and truth will also be accelerated at some point. We are in the beginning of this. So,
I
and
to
also what this course is about, right, Dave?
Yeah, well, I totally agree, and I think that the why also men are generally unhappy or not aligned with their kind of inner masculinity or even their inner femininity is to do with isolation,
Mm.
because we're kind of evolutionary mammals. We grew up in groups for most of our history, the larger part of our history. Men grew up together, they mentored each other, they looked after each other. Okay, that had a shadow side, but that collective approach dimension is missing from modern life. And therefore, these courses and technology, like you're saying, can provide an opportunity to bring men from all walks of life, not whether they live in the same village or the same region, but if they got digital access, any man from any walk of life could join this and participate and co-explore together through true fellowship, brotherhood, and what the best, celebrating what the best of being a man is in today's chaotic world.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I think also the belonging, and belonging to as man is actually very important because as we have been living in this very individualized world, we will also learn to carry everything on our own shoulders, not
Exactly. Yeah.
sharing, that weight or not sharing our troubles with somebody else. So that is becoming, very negative, a negative load for many men. And just by doing the work in circles and learning together, we also have this collective intelligence that can, rise to the surface where we can all learn from. So we learn also from by listening that the other can have actually, much worse things in his life that has happened to him than we have. So it creates a sense of humbleness and humility,
Yeah. Yeah.
and also that we learn to be compassionate, with each other, but most of all with ourselves,
Yeah.
because we don't have to carry all this burden. We don't have to carry all this suffering.
Yeah.
We are here actually to create and to hold each other together. And by doing so, I think we are able to create far better, futures than we have now, where basically we have a zero-sum game on economic levels, on cultural levels. Everything is becoming wiped out or zero-sum game, while there is a far better future of abundance that we can create when we just realize that we connect back to nature, that
Yeah.
we are nature, that nature is always abundant for us. It has been here, our planet, for billions of years, and we cannot control nature, as many of us tend to do, also with technology and all that.
Yeah.
So we need to, take a step back, connect to nature, and then use
Yeah.
technology in a different way that it has been used now in a positive way to actually create the next paradigm shift of humanity, I think. And I think we are in the middle of that. The old
Yeah.
systems are crumbling and new systems are not there yet fully, but they are being born. And this course will also help you, to understand that.
Yeah, I think that any man that's in touch with 10 or 15% of what you've just described could benefit from doing the course, partly by slowing down because the pace of everything is so hectic and intense. And you could be on digital media or online like morning to night and not stop, which creates a kind of intensity that our physical biology is not really designed for. And but also the slowing down and the co-reflection, like you're mentioning, but also contemplation, like having intentional contemplation. So being intentional, and then also taking the learning from the course and taking it into daily life. So it's not a module; it's an experiential course. It's not a module where you acquire knowledge that and sits in the back of your library. It's something that will create living information that can be applied in daily life through action learning. And you can co-reflect together with the other participants on what you're learning. So it's reflective, but also dynamic. And I think by having those two principles in, any man that's conscious of some of the state of the world could enjoy and benefit from this program.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. And I would add to that that, for many men, the world now is may look confused, especially also with social media and the political and geopolitical changes that are happening. But
Yeah,
no, when we are able to connect to our inner core, and align basically our, mind, body, heart, and also our connection to, what is out there, um, we can actually, balance out many things and hold, the
Yeah.
center in between all these polarities. And that's especially what we are about. So not just about, the being, integrating, the lessons and all that, but then also how can you turn it into action?
Yeah.
So I don't have anything to add. Dave, do you have anything to add before I?
Just, just one more point about, you were mentioning the global circumstances. In a way, okay, there's a lot of danger and there's a lot of polarization and chaos. But for conscious people that have intent and aligning with the wishes of the planet, which is for the good of humanity, we can shape where that future goes. So that's where men that care about the future of this and want to make a difference to what happens in their own small way, they should also join this course.
I love that. Yeah, men who care about their future and the future of their children and
Yeah,
future generations. I
yeah,
think, yeah, because that is what we need to design now. So
yeah,
for anyone who's interested, we start on it's going to be on Wednesday evenings. We start on June 4th until July 9th. It will be at 7:30 p.m. CET. And there's a free introduction webinar on May 28th. So you can sign up in the link below. So thank you for your attention. And Dave, I'm looking forward to see you in the course.
yeah. Me too. I'm really looking forward to this. It'll be a real creative combination, and I do hope any of you watching will join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.